Welcome to the first podcast of Her Thoughts, His Thoughts. Her Thoughts, His Thoughts. I always get that backwards. So, as you can tell, we're going to have a lot of fun with this. I'm here with my wife, Michelle, and she and I are going to just introduce ourselves to you on the first podcast and kind of let you know a little bit about what our podcasting goals and dreams and what we hope to accomplish with this. So first up, we're going to ask Michelle just to introduce herself and maybe talk about her journey up to this point.
My journey up to this point. I grew up in a suburb of Columbus and kind of had sort of a really ideal childhood with my parents just loving on me a lot, obsessively so. I got married when I was really young, 18 years old, had 2 kids really soon, right away. Was married for 17 years and then got a divorce. I was a single mom for 7 years. And during that 7-year time, I met Donald and we dated, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point in time. And so we've been married for 2 years now. Sunday.
2 years Sunday.
2 years on Sunday. Yes.
So
indeed.
we'll get a little bit more into that in just a moment. But let's see. I am originally from southern West Virginia. Grew up in coal mining towns and in the hollers. If you've ever seen Coal Miner's Daughter or Mate One or anything like that on TV, that's real life. And that's kind of where I grew up. My mom and dad I'm blessed that they're still around. They divorced when I was about 23 years old. I was married for 21 years. And during that time, I had a son, or we had a son. And we'll talk a lot about our kids as we go through this. He is now 23 years old, I guess, himself. Working and doing good things, so really happy and proud about that. Unfortunately, my first marriage ended after about 21 years. And after that, went through a lot of ups and downs, some depression, some good times, just looking for the right answer and the right way to go about life. So there was a lot of study, a lot of reading, a lot of counseling, a lot of self-reflection. And one of the things that Michelle and I really believe is that those periods of time, so that 5 years or so for me and that 7 years or so for Michelle, has created a lot of knowledge. And we hope that throughout the podcast that we're able to share some of those in bits and pieces with you. As Michelle said, it was about 2 years ago that we got married. Sunday we will celebrate our second wedding anniversary, and that's pretty exciting in and of itself. So I guess one of the things that we want to talk about real quick, and I'll ask Michelle to talk about it first, is we've been thinking and praying and dreaming about doing something like this together, just doing a podcast. And so I want Michelle to kind of talk about her thoughts and maybe some of the things that she's done before that have led us to the point that a podcast might be a good idea.
Well, this is sort of a dream of mine to kind of start something where we can share what we're thinking and just different ideas that we have. And I think it certainly lets our children off the hook because maybe they won't have to listen to us talk so much. But it's just kind of a really cool outlet for us. About, I don't know, a little over a year ago, I started working for our church, and we go to a big church. It's like a 9,000 member church, and I was blessed to get to work in marriage and family, and so I kind of got to see the whole gamut of everything that my life had been and had become and is becoming. And so got to get to work with couples that are premarital, couples that are looking for marriage enrichment. Um, the majority of my job is dealing with couples in crisis, and I just I really feel like Donald and I have unique experiences and a lot of experience, and in relationships and other things as well. But it's just I started to think that we kind of have a unique, special thing going on, and that we should share it. And this seems like a really appropriate platform to do it. We can be really transparent and honest, and just kind of really share who we are and the journeys that we've gone on, and what we're doing, and all over the place, not only in our marriage and our relationships and our kids, but how God has impacted our lives and made a difference in who we are becoming. But how we we like to do crazy stuff too. So we're just sort of all over the place, and this is just a platform for us to get to talk about all of it.
Yeah, and I think that that's the neat thing, is because it's a platform, and if you don't want to listen to something, you don't have to, and we're okay with that. This is really some degree for us, and some degree we're doing this just believing that we're following a path that has been laid out. We hope to make it fun. I anticipate that you will hear topics that are fun, topics. We might debate student athletes and whether or not they should be paid on one podcast, and the next podcast you may hear what we believe the Bible says is the purpose of marriage. We're just all over the place, and we're going to try to invite you into our kitchen table and just share some things with you, and those things that you like, great. Things that you don't, that's okay too. So we're really excited. We are really excited to do this, and we're going to learn as we go. I've got a very good friend of mine who has really tried to coach me and teach me, and he said, Don, the first time you do something, it's going to be awful. Just get the first couple awfuls out of the way and keep it moving. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be bad, and as we learn and as we grow, we will get better. So we welcome you on the ride. HerThoughtsHisThoughts.com is the website, and that's where you can go and you can subscribe to get notifications when new podcasts are out. At some point, we'll get them onto iTunes and all the other platforms. If you ever have a question about anything, if you ever want to challenge us to approach a topic, that's where you can send your thoughts and things also. So HerThoughtsHisThoughts.com. You'll see us there, and you'll see our catalog of discussions. All right. So that's it for now. We just wanted to introduce ourselves, Donald and Michelle Wells. HerThoughtsHisThoughts.com. We'll see you around.
Thanks, guys.